Hello everyone. Over the last year or so there's been a lot come out that has exposed the ruling kakistocracy and what they're really getting up to. You know, the revelations of the Epstein case, the stuff that is related to the royal family, the things that they're involved with, the enormous amount of child trafficking, Jimmy Savile, all sorts of stuff has come out, folks. I mean, Jimmy Savile came out a while ago, but you know, in the last year we've seen pretty much the whole thing snowball. So much information has come out. A lot of people are looking for someone to hang out to dry. People are looking for the head of the snake, looking for who the ruling hand really is. And right on cue, we've been given someone to blame. In the last month or so, I've had an enormous amount of people send me links to a website and information regarding a most mysterious woman who goes by the name, we're told, of... It's a bizarre name. The name is Somerset Belenoff. And we're told this is the Countess of Banbury. She lives in Glamis Castle in Scotland. And this is the head of the snake. There is apparently only one photograph that exists of this woman, which is this photograph that I've got on the screen here now. And this is apparently who is the head of the snake. And there's been a lot of people reporting about this woman, a lot of people reporting information about this and this website called Glamis Calling, which I will get up for you now. If I can just find it. There it is there. Glamis Calling. Welcome to the information portal. This site serves as the unofficial or as the official external communication vehicle for the World Governing Council and the Wettin upper chamber. If you've been directed here for instructions, note that most messages are intentionally obscure. If you're having difficulty understanding a particular message, you may reach out to Luxembourg Cathedral on node 9 of the forgotten frequency. After authentication, you may receive additional instructions, blah, blah, blah. Best regards, Somerset Belenoff. Interesting website. It's got posts on there claiming to go back to 2017, 2016, January 2016. All sorts of posts on this website relating to world events. You know, we require this, we require that. Luxembourg Cathedral, Australian federal election, Scott Morrison for the PM post. Congratulations on your upcoming victory, for it is assured. Posts going way back, folks, to, you see here, 2017, going way back to 2016, January 2016, you'll find posts. There's one from November 2016. All sorts of things on this website. And there's another website that is investigating it called Who is Somerset Belenoff, which has all sorts of information on there. We are the Shadow Watchers. Our mission is to provide the public with as much information as possible related to Somerset Belenoff, Countess of Banbury and Arran. She is the third cousin of Queen Elizabeth, current head of the World Governing Council, as well as the Chief Executive Officer of the World Security Office, sits unchallenged atop the Illuminati hierarchy, and she rules with an iron fist. All sorts of stuff here, folks, very interesting. It has created the perfect scenario, the perfect rabbit hole for people to go down. It says here she is the registered owner of the Bohemian Grove domain name and is likely the owner of the actual property. Says she is related to Rasputin, the great-granddaughter of Gregory Rasputin, and the great-great-great-granddaughter of Queen Victoria. Travels regularly to the Kremlin, White House, and of course Buckingham Palace. She arrives unannounced without an invitation, and she's probably the only person in the world who does arrive uninvited. She ordered Barack Obama to bring down the government of Muammar Gaddafi, you know, so all sorts of stuff here to create this scenario about this woman who is the great controller of everything. And it's also got staff, which is particularly interesting. The staff at the World Governing Council, Tia Mabani, Natalie Belenoff, Windsor, Karina Belenoff, her daughter, Amy Belenoff, St. John. All of these people, huge amounts of people said to be on the staff of this World Governing Council. Interesting stuff, folks. And it refers to the House of Wettin, it refers to the World Governing Council and the Countess of Banbury. Interesting stuff, folks. A lot of it has been promoted and presented by this woman. A woman here by the name, oh, I don't know what her name is, but she's got a YouTube channel called DeceptionBytes. And she talks about these links here that you can see here. Glamis Calling, the website I just showed you. Who is Somerset Belenoff? She goes through the House of Wettin, lyrics of Stairway to Heaven, and the Twitter account of Karina Belenoff, who apparently runs a website called People Are Meat, where they eat human beings. And they have type of Hunger Games that goes on in this restaurant, in the lower levels of the restaurant. And they eat the losers, and the winners come and join the feast or something, I guess. I don't know the way they're doing it. But she goes through a few things on this report here. I'll just show you a couple of sections of it. There's one bit where she goes through, I need to find some of these things, folks. There's one bit where she goes through and she talks about this website, People Are Meat, and cannibal cravings at the Hollydale. And there's that picture again of apparently Karina Belenoff, who is Somerset Belenoff's daughter. Cannibal cravings at the Hollydale. This is this restaurant where they eat all these people. And it goes through and it shows you some of the people that are involved in it. Here we are. There's a woman here called Amanda Muse. It goes through here, it shows some of the apparent winners of the contest who fought with hammers, bows, arrows, knives, ropes. And these people here, this woman Lauren Munsey was apparently one of the winners. And you go a little bit further up here and it's got this woman, Amanda Muse, Hollydale Cannibal. It goes through the whole thing and it gets back down here and it shows you again. There she is, Amanda Muse, and this other woman, apparently Lauren McPherson Munsey, native of Sydney. Okay. Now looking at what they've provided you here and the stuff, the information they've given you. The Wettin Upper Chamber they're referring to. Now, the Wettin Upper Chamber, and they're saying these are the executive teams of the Wettin executive team. Now, if you look at the House of Wettin, the House of Wettin is a real house. It actually does exist in England. The Margraves of Wettin. You can go through the whole list of the House of Wettin. Nowhere on the list will you find anyone called Somerset Belenoff. Interesting stuff. And it goes right through. I mean, it's got a quite extensive list there, folks. You can also look at the Kingdom of Saxony, the House of Wettin. And this is on a website called the Almanac De Gotha. Very interesting website, folks. I've often told you that all the royal families are related. If you look through here, look at this here. This is the House of De Gotha, right? Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. Look at some of these people here. You've got the House of Cambridge, richest monarchs, Austria, Hungary, Bohemia, Brunswick, Croatia, Courland, Dalmatia, Denmark, France, French, Finland, Georgia, the German Empire, Hesse-Kassel, Philip. It's all there, folks. There's so many people that are involved, all related. Empire of Mexico, Principality of Monaco, Principality of Navarra, Kingdom of the Netherlands, Kingdom of Norway, Oldenburg, Ottoman Empire, Portugal, Parma, Prussia, Romania, Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, Serbia, Spain, Sweden, Sicily, Tuscany, Sicily, Waldeck, Wartenberg, Yugoslavia. So many houses are involved with the House De Gotha, folks. Excuse me. a lot of places, a lot of people, a lot of royalties involved. If you just look through this list, I'll put a link below. You can go check out the website if you want. You know, Qatar, Japan, Arabia, Tonga, Laos, Rwanda, Kuwait, Malaysia, Thailand. You know, you think the royals aren't connected, folks? They're all connected. But anyway, looking through this site, again, you do not find any reference to anybody called Belenoff. There are no Belenovs on this website. If you look at the Earl of Banbury, look through Banbury, you'll find the last Earl of Banbury was actually William Knollys, or Edward Knollys, or William Knollys, yeah, William Knollys. Francis Knollys became the Viscount. He didn't want to be an Earl, he wanted to be a Viscount. So they actually demoted the title back in the late 1800s and it became Viscount. So there is no Countess of Banbury anymore. The last Countess of Banbury was apparently Elizabeth Knollys, which was around this era. So there is no Countess of Banbury. As for the World Governing Council, the World Governing Council is a real organisation, the World Governing Council, but it is actually a subsidiary organisation of the World Law Alliance, which has nothing to do with the House of Wettin. Interesting stuff, folks. So these are all things that actually exist, perfect to add to your conspiracy, but they all lead nowhere. Now, another claim that was made on this site is that this woman is the registered owner of the Bohemian Grove website. She is the registered owner of the Bohemian Grove domain name and is actually the owner of the local property, of the actual property. Now, people that have researched into Bohemian Grove, anybody who's researched into Bohemian Grove for many years would know that there's no official website for Bohemian Grove. There never has been. We've looked for one, but there never has been. But now you can find one. There it is, Bohemian Grove, weaving spiders come not here. And it says, by order of Somerset Belenoff, the Bohemian Grove website is closed and cold silence is invoked until Heaven's Break 2020. For additional information, contact Luxembourg Cathedral on node 9 of the forgotten frequency. Isn't that interesting, folks? And we're said that Somerset Belenoff is the registered owner of Bohemian Grove. But if you go and look up the WHOIS on Bohemian Grove, what you find is that the registered owner of Bohemian Grove is Namecheap.com, just a generic naming company. So there's no way to find out who the registered owner of Bohemian Grove is. So why has that claim been made? When you look at the website of Glamis Calling, again, you'll notice here that you've got posts made back as far as January 16. If you look at the WHOIS for Glamis Calling, what you find is that the website was created on the 1st of January 2019, or 25th of January 2019. So how are their posts going back there to 2016? And if you want to know how they are, just search for backdating posts on WordPress, and you can find it's very easy to backdate posts on WordPress. When you look at the Glamis Calling, like as I've said, the Bohemian Grove website, that was also registered in 2017. There it is there by the current owners, 2017. Look at the People Are Meat website, that was actually registered in the June 2019. So these are all very new websites, folks. And what you can do is you can go and you can look back on the websites. If you look at Glamis Calling, here is the Wayback Machine on Glamis Calling. You'll find that there are no posts on Glamis Calling for 2019. There's nothing there. The first posts don't appear to have appeared until January 9, 2020. If you look at the snapshot of that site on January 9, 2020, you'll find this is a snapshot of the website. Now they've got posts going back there, they've got all this menu there, but there's nothing actually on this page that goes past April 30, 2019. Westminster Tower Alert is the earliest post on this page, and that's on January 9, 2020. If you go back and look at another snapshot, let's have a look at January 17. We'll have a look at the second snapshot on January 17. Takes a little while for things to load here, folks. This is just the problem that I deal with low bandwidth here. But it will load, I assure you, eventually. And you look here, we'll look at the posts here now. Washington Tower was the final post. Now we've got Westminster Tower as the final post. Now we've got at least, we've got another post earlier, April 9. So they're adding posts to it all the time. You can click older posts and it doesn't show you anything when you click that. But this is a very new website, folks. And as for Bohemian Grove, the interesting thing with Bohemian Grove, if you look at Bohemian Grove, you find that this website has been registered since around about 2000. Now, we didn't even hear about Bohemian Grove from Alex Jones until around about 2008. But here was this website, it was still going, it was registered back in 2000. If we look at 2003, and we look at a snapshot, looks March 20, 2003, and we look at what was on this website, free bondage sex pics and porn pictures. It's just a porn website back in 2003. So why would it be the official Bohemian Grove website run by Somerset Belenoff when it was in fact once a porn site? BohemianGrove.org, and it's been registered since 2000. If you look at it in 2017 and you try to find a snapshot of it in 2017, you find it's just a domain name that's sitting there with nothing on it, I think. So this is not the official Bohemian Grove website, folks. And like I said, it doesn't make sense for somewhere like Bohemian Grove to even have a website. It really doesn't make a lot of sense, folks. I don't think this is going to load this snapshot. But I'll put the link below to the web archive, to archive.org. You can go there yourself. There you go. It's just, see, it just says registered at Namecheap. There's nothing there. There's nothing on the website back in 2017. So this is not the official Bohemian Grove website. This is just someone who's made it up. And if you look at the owner of the Bohemian Grove website, it's the same thing. It's just Namecheap. It's just a generic name. Namecheap for that. Sawbuck for People I Meet, and Sawbuck for Glamis Calling. Sawbuck also is just a generic naming company. Now, looking at the staff here, folks, you know, on this the Glamis Calling website, and these people, this woman here, Amanda Muse, if we take this back just that little bit, Amanda Muse, apparently running the Hollydale Cannibal. She's the quality control manager at Cannibal Cravings. And this woman here, Lauren McPherson Munsey, native of Sydney, Australia, granddaughter of reputed crime boss Leonard Arthur McPherson. If you look at these people, folks, what you find is that the first woman, Amanda Muse, her real name is actually Alicia Tyre, sometimes goes by the name of Salt, and she is an Instagram model. That's what she does. You look at the other woman, Lauren Munsey, or Lauren McPherson Munsey. This is actually a woman called Ebony Gilbert. She's an actress. She was in The Firm in 2009. This is her pictures here. She was also in, I think, Law and Order. She was also in a couple of films. This is not any martial arts instructor from Australia. This is an actress from Hollywood. When you start looking through the staff members as well, if you look through these people, Tia Mabani, Natalie Belenoff, Karina Belenoff, interesting people, folks. If you do a reverse image search for Karina Belenoff, what you find is that you get taken to this website of 100,000 free AI generated faces without copyright, and there is Karina Belenoff. That looks like her with a different expression and a part moved over to the other side. This almost looks like her with darker hair. These are all computer generated images, folks. None of these are real people. Interesting that they can do that, but that's what they can do. All computer generated images. And again, this is Alicia Tyre, who we're told is apparently Amanda Muse, who is the quality control officer at People Are Meat. This is actually an Instagram model. I'm not sure how pleased she would be that her picture is being used for that. Who knows, maybe she let them use it. But that's the thing, folks. A lot of this stuff is simply computer generated. None of it is real. Have a look at this. Here's a gallery of, just pick what you want. Pick age, sex, ethnicity, eye color, hair color. This is what you get, folks. These are all computer generated faces. Very easy to get faces for your website, to get faces for your crisis active videos, and get faces for your TV victims and all the stuff that they use, folks, for all the news articles they make up. Very difficult to tell that these are not real people. The trick is with the generic background that they all have. You can kind of see it there. Here's an interesting site. thispersondoesnotexist.com. Have a look at that. That person does not exist. That's just a computer generated face. If you refresh the page, you'll get another one. Let's keep refreshing the page. There's another person who does not exist. Little blemishes on the eyebrows, little freckles on the nose, little creases there, little flaky bits on the eyelashes and the eyebrows. Just, little imperfections to make it look completely real. This child does not exist. Beautiful photograph of a beautiful child, only it's not real. That's how easy it is to fake this sort of stuff, folks. And what they've done with this Somerset Belenoff website is they've created links to all of this real stuff. The House of Wettin is a very real house. The House of Saxony is a very real house. Glamis Castle is a very real place in Scotland. It's open for tourists to go in there and visit. Wettin Upper Chamber, the House of Wettin is a very real house. Even the World Governing Council is a real governing council, but it's not what they told you it is. That's the thing, folks. And when you go looking through the pictures of these people, they've got these generic grey backgrounds mostly, just blurred backgrounds. And it says here, they have a condition known as heterochromia, meaning each eye is a different colour. You actually find different colours in the same eye. All their eyes look funny, folks, because they are all computer-generated eyes. None of them are real people. These are all just people that are generated for this website. There's no way this is a real woman. And that's what they've done. With all the stuff that's been exposed regarding the human trafficking that's going on, regarding the fact that the ruling hand are very likely cannibals. I mean, this is what they do. There's been so much stuff to expose the royal family, so much stuff to expose what the rulers of the world are really getting up to. And so, right on cue, they create a rabbit hole like this for people to go down and waste all their energy on trying to find this queen of the Illuminati, the one person who sits at the top, because they want someone to point the finger at. Because I think that will make a difference if they've got this woman to point the finger at. I mean, who knows if Somerset Belenoff is even a real person? If she is, she's definitely the most reclusive person in history. But the fact that all of her daughters and all of the staff of this so-called World Governing Council are all AI generated would suggest that the whole thing has been AI generated, and the whole thing is simply a rabbit hole to distract people, keep them looking from the real people who are doing the real problems, and keep them exploring down this rabbit hole, thinking that they're getting somewhere, thinking they're finding out information, when all they're really doing is giving away those little flares of awareness, thinking that they've found the answer to the puzzle when they haven't. You know, the answer to the puzzle is for us to stop complying with our own slavery, folks. You know, this whole system couldn't function if we didn't comply with it. That's the problem with the whole thing. You know, we're too busy pointing the finger at others and looking for people to point the finger at, rather than pointing the finger at ourselves and really realizing that we're the ones who hold this whole mess up. You know, we're the ones who allow it to continue, who allow it to continue happening, and allow these people to harvest these children and do the things that they're doing. And these sorts of websites, I mean, they come out right on cue, and we think that we've found all the answers to our problems and we've got someone to point the finger at. When really, folks, all it's doing is stopping us looking at ourselves and realizing that we could change the world in a day if we simply chose to stop complying with this system and chose to support each other, chose to support the people around us. I mean, it's difficult because there's so many barriers between people. But, you know, we're getting to a situation now where we're not going to be left with much of a choice, folks. You know, we're not going to be finding the answer by looking for these people and thinking that there is some ruling hand up there that we can actually do something about if we're not prepared to change things on the ground ourselves. That's how we change the world, folks, by changing things on the ground. You know, and all this stuff has come out right on cue, just so we don't look at the bigger picture, just so we don't actually look at the real controllers and realize that they're all working together. It doesn't matter what country you come from, they're all working together. All of these ruling elites, all this stuff they're doing, folks, it's about lockdown. It's about locking people down, keeping people looking in the wrong direction, and that's exactly what this website has done. You know, and I only wanted to address this today because I've had so many people send me this link. I literally have had quite a lot of people say, Max, you've got to look at this. We found them. We found the queen of the Illuminati. We found the head of the snake. We found a way out of the mess. When really, no, you haven't. I mean, it's not a way out of the mess at all. The way out of the mess is within our hearts, folks. And I thought it was important for me to address this just because of the damage these sorts of rabbit holes can do, because they ultimately lead nowhere, and they tend to make a fool out of us. You know, when we're exposing the stuff that has been revealed through the Epstein case, you know, exposing the royal family for what they really get up to, the last thing we need is for some mythical member of the royal family to suddenly appear, and suddenly everyone's attention goes there, and we think that we've got this person we can hang out to dry. And really, it's just a scapegoat that's been created for us to continue wasting our time. You know, I think it's very important that people vet things properly when they're looking at this stuff, folks. And when something is too good to be true, it's very often a reason for that, folks. It's because it's not true. And that's what I've found with this whole Somerset Belenoff case and this whole revelation of this mysterious woman, is that it's simply something that's needed to contain the people, keep them looking in the wrong direction. It's kind of much like Q. You know, I'm sure the Q-tubers don't like that, but hey, folks, I mean, Q's had people sitting down waiting for mass arrest for the last 3 years while the world has just deteriorated dramatically in the process. So, you know, we're not going to get any change by looking at these type of websites, folks. We're not going to get any change until we're prepared to change ourselves. That's where the change is going to come from. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you today, folks, and just clear that up a little bit. Interesting websites you can go and look at there if you want to construct a few fake human faces and stuff. You can see how it's done anyway and how easy it is done. But that's all I really wanted to bring you today. I just wanted to share that with you. I think it's important. I'm going to be speaking in Mexico next weekend, or not this weekend, the following weekend. So if you're in Acapulco, I'll look forward to seeing you there. And then I'll be going on to Europe to do some talks over there. So I'll look forward to catching up with people in Europe as well. This is going to be the last year that I travel, folks. I did say 2020 was going to be the last year I do any traveling for a while, and it is most definitely going to be. I'm going to be out there traveling till probably May or June, and then I intend to come home and spend a good deal of time here. I think the world is about to get very strange. It's going to be interesting to see how we go with traveling this year as well, whether they're going to be attempting to lock down travel due to this ridiculously contrived coronavirus outbreak, which I think is a very big picture that people need to be continuing to look at. I think it's a multifaceted picture. I think there are many ways this is going to be used to change the world as we know it. And we could possibly get on top of this situation, hopefully change it into something good. That would be better than what they would like to change it into. But anyway, folks, thank you for listening to this little report. As I said, I just think it was important. I'll bring you another one soon. I'll try to get you another one before I go away next week. Otherwise, I will bring you one either from Mexico or from LA the week after. But I will bring you another one soon, and I'll be doing an interview on the Kev Baker Show tomorrow morning as well. I've got a couple of interviews coming up, so you'll get a bit more of that anyway. But thank you for joining me on this little report today. I'll look forward to speaking to you again soon. Please take care until then. In Lakesh.